So I thought the character's name was James Bond and not Super Duper Ninja Mega Assassin Man. I'm Brandon Keith Avery and this is just my opinion. Hey guys, welcome back. So Daniel Craig is back again as James Bond, directed by Sam Mendes. This is the fourth time that Daniel Craig has been back as James Bond, but only the second time that Sam Mendes has been behind the camera. He did Skyfall, and of course, we're talking about Spectre. He also did Road to Perdition, Jarhead, and American Beauty. I saw American Beauty and Jarhead. Those are pretty good films, but I did not see Road to Perdition. As far as my expectations going into this film, they wasn't high and they wasn't low, they were mediocre. I love the James Bond's character. I played the 007 game on N64 back in the 90s all the time, and I love that game. I love the characters. I love most of the movies, so my expectations for this, I don't know why they wouldn't be high. You think they would be high, but they were just mediocre. And did it live up to those expectations? Was it the best James Bond? Is Daniel Craig the best James Bond that we've ever had? That's an argument that we can have for another time. And the movie itself, it just didn't blow my socks off, but it was pretty good. What I did like about it is it gave us a lot of what we already knew and what we fell in love with in the past, but also switched it on its head. The cast was phenomenal, but that's a given. We already knew the cast was going to be great. Of course, we have Daniel Craig as James Bond, Naomi Harris as Minnie Penny, Ralph Fiennes as Q, and Dave Bautista as this gentleman named Hinks. Now, Dave Bautista, he's up and coming. He didn't have a lot of lines in this movie. He probably only had one, but that's perfectly fine. That's not a knock on the film. He's just there to be some giant, brute, overpowering force that knocks the crap out of everybody. And he did just that. I mean, this guy here was beating up everybody, and I liked his role. Naomi Harris and Ralph Fiennes, they were back too, and they had their moments of shine as well. But of course, it's Daniel Craig as James Bond. And someone named Léa Seydoux, she was the new Bond girl in this movie, and I liked her a lot. She was really good. Most of the time in the James Bond movies, they're not always just a damsel in distress. And she wasn't in this one either. She know how to use a gun, throw some bows, and just not sit there like a helpless woman not knowing how to get out of a situation. She just didn't sit on her behind waiting for someone to come save her all the time. I like that she was able to get in the middle of the fight and contribute to the outcome of the overall picture. Something else that I loved about the film is the way it started off. Sam Mendes did with the camera, he really knew how to grab your attention. I mean, the first frame, as soon as it starts out, you're glued in with that little skeleton mask they come, and the camera doesn't break at all. I mean, it goes up, down, left, and right, and it just spin all around, and it just doesn't break, and it's just showing James Bond, Daniel Craig, and all of his James Bondish mannerisms just being all smooth and suave as debonair as he can be, and going around as assassinating people. Something else that stood out to me was Q's performance, played by Ben Whishaw. He's the tech gadget guy that gives James Bond all of his toys to play with. I like him because usually he's very monotone and sarcastic, and he was that way as well, but he has some levity to his character, and they showed him laughing a lot and making jokes. Not a whole bunch, but enough to give us something different than we got from the last time. Now, the movie could have repeated itself over and over like it's did in the past, where James Bond gets a mission, he goes to headquarters and gets all the new gadgets and toys from Q and doesn't really care about it and is really disrespectful and goes out into the field and destroys it and never returns it in the condition that he found it. But they didn't do it this time like that. They kind of put a little twist on it to make James Bond feel stupid, and I liked it. I got a lot of laughs about it, and it's just another way to give us something that we're familiar with, but also something new to keep the audience fresh on their feet and not get bored. As far as the mission is concerned, or the overall story and plot, it's not just brand new, fresh. I mean, there are some things that it took from Captain America or the Winter Soldier, as far as the Spectre organization being just some secret dark organization under the ground pulling all the strings, but this had a more mature sense to it, and I really like that. As far as Christopher Waltz playing the villain, I like this guy. I like him a lot as an actor. No, I don't like him. I love him. He's a phenomenal actor and deserves all the praise and attention that he's always got in the past. But as far as him being a villain in this role, it could have been a little bit better. I liked the villain back in Skyfall. I mean, that guy was creepy and had some deep issues that he had to work out. the motivation behind this, yes, you want world domination, but I don't know. I mean, the movie just didn't do it to me. I mean, we got a little bit of his past, and as you see in all the trailers, which they did a pretty good job there as well, this guy has been in James Bond's life a lot longer than we've known it to be. And when they're going back and touching on that story, they hit on some points diving back into James Bond's past, but it wasn't anything overwhelming that just knocked my socks off. The action in this film was great. It was a little over the top at times, but I liked it a lot more in Skyfall, and it delivered. Especially a fight scene with Dave Bautista. You know that he's not in this movie for his acting abilities, and I'm not trying to hit on the guy. I respect him. I respect his role. He did a great job. But when he was on scene, he was throwing bows. I mean, this guy was like a small Hulk. When all the punches were landing, I mean, you really felt that base hitting. I'm like, damn, James Bond is about to die. Now, I did enjoy the film overall, but there are some things that I did not like that bugged the hell out of me. I know this is a James Bond film. I know that. And when you have James Bond's films, you know that the villain is always just going to tie the good guy up, have running dialogue instead of just going over and shooting him in the head to eliminate the threat. Yes, they do that. There are countless jokes that talks about that all the time. That's James Bond. I get it. But they just took it way out of hand with this movie. There were just too many instances where the bad guy could have easily got rid of Bond or the Bond girl, and then that would have been it. They would have won. But no, it's just too many just idiotic things where the bad guys, they just overlooked it and just gave James Bond just as many chances as he could to escape. And that annoys me. I mean, even in the beginning, even James Bond himself, I mean, dude, I'm not saying that he's, you know, defying the laws of physics, but I'm like, dude, you're in this action scene right here, and what are you doing? I mean, do you not care if you live or die? You have this mission that you want to uphold, but the way you're doing it, you're going to die yourself. Why are you in the helicopter flying around doing loops like you're at a ride on Six Flags? I mean, come on, dude. Do you not see all the people around? Are you not worried about collateral damage? You're in a helicopter flying around with hundreds of well, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of people on the ground, and this helicopter could just crash and kill all of these people in Mexico City, and you're not even in your jurisdiction. And that was even in the very beginning of the movie. It started out so great, and I'm just scratching my head like, God, what the hell are you doing? You're gonna get yourself killed along with everybody else, and then the mission is gonna fail. And not only did they do that in the beginning of the movie, they did that like 6 other times, and it just didn't make sense. I mean, even in the middle of the movie, there's a confrontation between Christopher Waltz and Daniel Craig, and they're just having dialogue. Hey, what are you doing here? Well, I'm here to kill you. Well, I'm here to kill you too. But instead of killing each other, they just want to talk and talk and talk and talk till one of them escapes and escapes death by this much. And I'm just like, guys, what are you doing? I mean, come on now. Where are the stakes? Are you taking this seriously? It's like you know that you're in a video game, and I don't know. I just didn't buy that. It's like they had 100 lives, and it just kind of bugged the hell out of me. I mean, even at the very end of the film, instead of, no, I mean, the guy literally, instead of just ending the fight right now and killing Bond when he has a billion chances to do, he's hovering around in a helicopter again, just watching him escape. I mean, it's just stupid, and it just does not make any sense, and I just didn't like that. If I had to rate this film out of 1 out of 10, I would give it a out of a 10. But guys, that's just my opinion, and I would love to hear yours as well. So whether you've seen James Bond's, the new one, Spectre, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let's keep the conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. It will really help me out. And also, since you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can get all the content that I have to provide in the past and in the future. If you would like a written review, I have that as well. You can already go over to the site. It's www.justmyopinion.net. If you're on Facebook, you can find the official Facebook page at facebook.com/justmyopinion. And if you're on Instagram and Twitter, which I'm sure you are, you can follow me at justmyopinion84. So there you go, guys. Thank you for tuning in for my review/opinion on Spectre. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.